So I remember one time I tried skating and I wore the roller skates. And before I could move a step, I had the worst fall of my life. And trust me, I have never worn roller skates again to date. Hi, good to see you again. Welcome to Without the Box. Now, in our last episode, of course, we did the intro on Without the Box and I received some questions, actually 3 to be precise. And question number 1 was, I found this funny because it was very inquisitive. Why the name Without the Box? Then the next question that I received in my mail was, what are some of the skills that business people need to have? And the other one was, do you have some business ideas that you can share with us jobless people to see if you can venture into the world of business? Wow, I found these questions very interesting. And so I may not be in a position to answer all of them today, but I promise I'm going to answer them with time. First one is, why the name Without the Box? Wow. So in high school, we had this physics teacher who would always act like he's the smartest. And so, you know, the way people nowadays normally say, akili mtu wangu. So him was outside the box. You have to think outside the box. And I think we got to a point where that was so monotonous that in my mind I started telling myself, no, you need to stop thinking outside the box, but rather think without the box at all. It was like the teacher was always, you need to think outside the box for you to get the marks. You need to think outside the box for you to make it in life. I was like, it had become so cliche. So I chose for the more pleasant name of Without the Box. And actually that's what inspired the channel Without the Box. Because I also think, like, in as much as we think outside the box, sometimes the box is very limiting. So we just need to do away with it. So that all ideas, big and small, like, we are not limited by any box. So in this channel, we think without the box. So all ideas count, big or small, huge, enormous or tiny. Like, yeah. So I hope that answers your question. So feel free to drop questions either in the comment or in the email in the description link below. We'll be sure to answer them. But now to what looks like the more serious question. That was also serious. What looks like the more serious question is that we're going to answer today is, what skills does one need to be a successful business person? Wow. And I wouldn't want to answer this as business skills only, because I feel like there are also personal skills that we need to have. And so probably today I'm going to answer about the skill set, why you need to have the skill set rather than the skills, because there are so many skills that if we were to tackle them all, we may really not get to exhaust. So in the little time that we have, we're going to answer the need of the skill set. And I want to ask us, what skills have you been developing? Why? Because I feel skills are so important that they help us navigate life and push us to a higher level. So that's the importance of skills. And so most of the time we confuse learning something and learning about something. You see, most people will have an idea of how a car works. And so in as much as we may know how a car operates, we really may not know how exactly to fix an engine. And so learning about something is knowing about it casually. But learning something is getting to know the operations of it, that it becomes, it does not take a lot of your mental energy to doing that thing. And so you cannot teach a kid how to ride a bike in a seminar. So you can't teach a kid how to ride a bike over Zoom. Like now we have a Zoom class, how to ride a bicycle. Well, whereas the theoretical knowledge may matter, the practical knowledge is what is most important. And so for people who are looking to venture into business, yes, we may have a lot of theoretical knowledge about how business works. We may have read a number of books about business. You may even have watched this video about business, but it does not guarantee you that just because you have collected and piled information from whichever sources we have, then you can run a business. Yes, you may have just a good foundation on which to start, but at least until you get to the process of doing it, you may never really get to know it fully. And actually I see this from experience. I remember a few years back, farming was the thing and everyone was talking about farming. And so I really wanted to get into farming. And so I chose to farm watermelons. And it's something I had never done before. So I took all my life savings. So you can imagine how much I had. I took all my life saving to do 1 acre of watermelon in Malindi. And I have no knowledge. And so you just ask casually, what seeds do I plant? So someone advises you this. But, well, I did. But fast forward, I didn't harvest a single fruit, even for me to eat. Like, all that money went down the drain just like that. Why? Because I was so excited about it. I read so much about it. I piled a lot of knowledge, but I didn't have the practical knowledge. And I didn't get the right personnel to also help me run the project. And so there's a better way of doing things. And I can't insist enough starting with a little bit of practical knowledge. And before you get discouraged, I don't mean to say that until you have practical knowledge of doing something, you shouldn't do it. Because how then will you get the experience? All I'm saying is that we should be very strategic when we are planning to start something. And I'd rather we start small and build and continue getting knowledge and applying it until we get masters. Why? When you master something, then it becomes very effortless to do it. You don't need much mental bandwidth to run with a project all the way to the end. So when you've mastered something, doing it becomes like you're playing a game and you get to enjoy it. And so don't mistake feedback for failure. Yes, sometimes you may try something and fail, but don't mistake, it may be feedback. Don't mistake feedback for failure. So I remember one time I tried skating and I wore the roller skates. And before I could move a step, I had the worst fall of my life. And trust me, I have never worn roller skates again to date. I envy little children in the estate, like they skate around and pull all types of stunts, but man, that was not for me. Why? Because probably I mistook feedback for failure. Probably there's something I hadn't learned. And so we can master almost anything. And so then the secret maybe should be in learning more things. So probably if your retention rate is probably 10% of all you learn, then probably you need to increase your learning so that you get to learn more of these skills. And so the secret lies in trying to learn more, trying to develop more, because you'll forget some and some you'll retain some. And so the secret is probably in just trying to learn more and learn more by the day, and whatever you retain is what is going to help you. So there's nothing you can't learn. There's no skill whatsoever that you can't learn. The secret is in doing more and learning more and finding more creative ways to learn. And so expose yourself to a lot of concepts. Then you will with time be the best that you can. So we were talking about the skill set, and we have seen the importance of just having the skill set. It makes work easier. It actually determines how far you can get. So what are some of these skill sets that we learn with time? The first skill set in business that I feel is the most important in any form of business is the art of communication. It's the backbone of any truly successful business. So I'll just mention them in passing. We'll learn about communication. We'll learn about having a clear vision and creativity linked together, because that gives you the roadmap of where you want to go. And when you know where you want to go, then you can easily find ways to get there. We'll learn about resilience, because business is tough. We also need to learn financial literacy. And I find after communication, that's another thing that is very crucial for all business to learn, like how money works, how finances work, and of course sales and marketing skills, and time management and organization. So just to mention a few, but our very first lesson will be on communication. I find this entirely crucial, because until you become better in communication, then no idea can be passed. I mean, everything is communication, starting with how you communicate yourself, your internal communication, than your external communication. And so we are going to tackle the aspect of communication first. But I had received a question, and I feel like it will not be very fair if I didn't answer it. What are some of the business ideas that you have that you can share with us? And so I will do a small I'll be doing probably small episodes on ideas that can work in 2024 in Kenya, and I hope you'll find that useful. So the next episode we'll cover a bit about some few business ideas that you can implement with considerably little capital. Then in the other episode, we'll do communication. We'll learn about communication. So until then, keep it here. Feel free to drop in your questions. We'll be sure to answer them. And that's all for today. So thanks for watching. See you in the next.